Good morning, good morning, good morning, UK. Good morning, world. Today is Friday, coming to the end of the week. For those of you who do Monday to Friday, and it's just another day for everybody else. And today I'm going to do live. I'll try to keep it short, as concise as possible, because I know I do tend to get on a tangent quite a lot. And it's part of my thyroid series, which is a way for me to try to get out as much information as possible for people who suffer from underactive thyroid or Hashimoto, which is the autoimmune version of it. I did do a live last week and covering how the thyroid works and all the how is it linked to the other systems like the liver, the adrenals and the gut. Today we're going to delve a bit more into the difference between hypothyroidism and Hashimoto, and the foods to eat to support your thyroid glands and the ones to avoid like a plague. And in particular, we're going to dive into the autoimmune protocol, which is the protocol used for autoimmune thyroid, Hashimoto, and other autoimmune disorders. Yeah, and then I'll give you a guideline on what I'm going to be covering next week. So to get you started, hypothyroidism versus Hashimoto. So what's the difference? Why? First of all, if you are diagnosed with an underactive thyroid after doing blood tests, the doctor will diagnose you and then will suggest putting you on medication. You could have just a sluggish underactive thyroid, which basically means the thyroid is not working the way it used to work. Now, that's not unusual. That's quite common as we get older. Like all the other systems in our body, they start slowing down, metabolism slows down, thyroid slows down. So that's not unusual. However, hypothyroidism these days is being diagnosed on young people, and it's becoming a major problem. The thyroid controls many functions, including your metabolism, your body temperature. So it's a gland that is a vital gland. And if you do suffer from hypothyroidism, high runner, if you do suffer from hypothyroidism, you will know you are suffering from that because the symptoms are unmistakable. You are exhausted all the time, regardless of how many hours you sleep, how well you eat, it makes no difference whatsoever. You will feel cold all the time, even if it's warm outside, particularly your hands and your feet. You will be losing chunks of hair for no reason. It could be in the shower, chunks of hair come out. Very often your eyebrows as well, the last bit of your eyebrow is very thin. Yeah, just the last bit. And you will have, your body temperature will typically be lower. You will have very likely to have constipation, problems with your gut as well. So there's various symptoms that give away that something's not quite right, and it does not make a difference what you do, how long you sleep, as I said, how well you eat, how rested you are. It makes no difference whatsoever. So it's a continuous symptoms. So if you're diagnosed with underactive thyroid, the doctor will put you on medication, and it's something that can be fixed. So it could be sluggish for a while. It's very likely to be down to your diet, and I'm going to cover that in a second. But generally speaking, if it's just a sluggish thyroid, the doctor might put you on medication to boost your thyroid for a little bit, and then you may find that gives kickstart and it's fine, assuming you change your diet, because as I said, the underactive thyroid in younger people is often caused by diet. And let me elaborate on this. So there are certain foods that are more likely to give you a problem with the thyroid. There's deficiency of certain food, but the other foods are more likely to give you that. In particular, gluten. Now, gluten is found everywhere these days. Unfortunately, you even find it in meat. I mean, you go and have sausages, in the old days you'd be able to get your sausages just pork, maybe some herbs in there. This day you can find gluten in there, you find sugar in there, there's all sort of crap going on there. So gluten is basically found in most type of flours. So you got if you have pasta, pizza, bread, most grains will contain gluten, apart from rice and quinoa. They are gluten free. Most of the grains tend to contain gluten. Of course, all processed food will contain gluten, so you need to stay well away from that. Cereals, all that kind of stuff, all processed food is all containing gluten. Now, if you eat gluten, which is basically 99.999% of the population eat gluten. What happens? What gluten does? Human body is not built to use gluten, yeah, to digest gluten. Gluten is so damaging. What it does, it goes to your gut, your intestine, and your intestine is made. The wall of your intestines are like that, yeah. They're all intricate, but they're all closed like that. What gluten does, it causes damage so that it opens little gaps. Yeah, little gaps like that. Once those little gaps are open, what happens? The food that's supposed to go through your intestines, be digested, and then eventually being expelled, you know, through your stools, passes through these gaps and ends up in the bloodstream. Yeah, so that is when things start going wrong. Yeah, so, and that's when problems happen with the thyroid. You start becoming hypothyroid, and eventually you end up developing autoimmune disorder when the immune system starts attacking the gluten in your blood, as well as the thyroid. And I will explain to you in a second why. Yeah. So number one, the first thing you need to do, if you have been diagnosed with a hypothyroidism, so underactive thyroid, the doctor say, well, it's you know, just a little bit underactive. So we're gonna give you just a little booster, maybe 25 grams or micrograms of of levothyroxine. That's fine. Yeah. That will boost it up. However, the best way to boost it is get rid of gluten from your diet, you know. And when I say get rid of gluten, so be very careful. I'm not telling you go for gluten-free food, because if you look at the ingredient for gluten-free food, they are crap. They're worse than the one containing gluten. There are so much sugar in there. There's so much bad fat, the vegetable refined oil, oh, so much crap. Yeah. So if you want to have pasta that is gluten-free, there is some pasta made from whole grain rice, or just have whole grain rice. That's even better, you know. Quinoa. Now this if you're hypothyroid, yeah, so not if you got autoimmune. Now the difference between hypothyroid and autoimmune, so as I explained to you, the gluten opens these gaps in the intestine, the food starts going through, causes inflammation, the thyroid starts struggling. Yeah, over a period of time, the immune system starts attacking. So what the immune system does, the immune system is there to protect us, yeah, from viruses, bacteria, and all things that shouldn't be in the body. So of course, gluten, and as well as all other type of food particles that escape through this gap in the intestines, are not supposed to be in the bloodstream. So the immune system does what it's built to do, which is attack and destroy. Yeah, so it goes out and it finds this particle in the blood, gets rid of them, yeah, destroys them, great. But then what it does is the immune system scans the whole body to find out if there's any more of these particles anywhere else. Yeah, unfortunately, the structure of gluten, which is a protein, by the way, yeah, found in wheat and everywhere else, the structure of gluten is very similar to the structure of the thyroids. So the immune system scans the body and says, oh, there's something there. Oh, that looks quite similar. Attack. So the poor thyroid gets attacked. You know, it doesn't realize that's part of a body. It just does that's what it does. Yeah. So it starts attacking the thyroid, and little by little, over a long period of time, it starts breaking chunks of it. Yeah. So the thyroid gets less and less thyroid, and eventually, less thyroid means less hormones produced by a thyroid. The symptoms get even worse. The medication needs to be increased because, of course, there's not enough thyroid hormone in the body. But of course, unless you change your diet, then the attack keeps coming, and eventually, like it happened to me, you know, I lost the whole thyroid to that. Yeah, because I was never told I had Hashimoto. You know, they removed one thyroid on the right side. You know, 20 years ago, there was a lump. They remove it, get rid of it, leave 20%. Never bother test me for anything else, give me medication. And over the 20 years, the underlying cause for my thyroid lump was Hashimoto, autoimmune thyroid, yeah, disorder. So of course, Italian live on gluten. You know, that's how I was raised, Mediterranean diet, you know, pasta and pizza and everything. So over 20 years, my autoimmune mounted an attack on my left thyroid, and little by little broke it, and eventually there's nothing left. Yeah, by the time I understood what was going on, because I kept on feeling crap, the doctors kept on telling me, no, your blood tests are fine, you know, because they only check a couple of elements in the blood test, not the relevant elements. And I kept on feeling crap. Then I knew something was really, really wrong. Then I did my own research. I did my own Facebook's trying to track me out again. So that's the thing. So Hashimoto is an autoimmune attack on your thyroid. That happens in the background. Now, both underactive thyroid and Hashimoto are linked to gluten. Yeah, so one of the major culprits are linked is gluten, because it causes leaky gut. This is the opening in your intestine called leaky gut, and food goes through, and the body immune system has to react to that. Yeah, so the first thing you need to do if you got Hashimoto, which is autoimmune underactive thyroid, or hypothyroidism, you need to get rid of gluten. Now, understand that at least 90% of underactive thyroid cases, hypothyroidism, diagnosed by the doctor, have got autoimmune Hashimoto in the background. So if your doctor is refusing to test you for Hashimoto, because at the end of the day they can't give anything different, you know, Hashimoto and hypothyroidism are treated the same way with one tablet, go and do your own test. You need to know if you got autoimmune. Why? Because the way you address your diet is completely different. Yeah, whether you got just underactive thyroid or whether you got Hashimoto, which is the autoimmune version. Yeah, so let's go into that. First of all, the food you need to eat to support your thyroid glands. Number one, iodine. Yeah, iodine, you can find it mainly in sea vegetable like seaweed, kelp, seafood like shrimp. Yeah, you also can find in dairy products. Yeah, but I will give you a caveat with that if you got autoimmune, you're not going to go anywhere near dairy product, please. So if you've got underactive thyroid only, you know, you can get some of your iodine through dairy product. Okay, so and also iodized salts. There are some salts out there that you can get on Amazon. They've got a high level iodine, done specifically, yeah, to increase your iodine levels. That's a good way of doing it. So iodine is number one. You need to make sure I've got enough in your diet. Selenium. Selenium is a must for thyroid function. It's nice and easy to get. The quickest way to get some selenium in your diet is get Brazil nuts. Yeah, Brazil nuts, they got a huge amount of selenium to the point that they can become toxic because they got too much. Yeah, selenium in large quantity is actually fatal. Yes, you gotta be very careful. Brazil nuts are the type of, now you know the ones, you know what they look like, quite big. Yeah, so the Brazil nuts are very high in selenium. So realistically speaking, you don't want to eat any more than 2 to 4 Brazil nuts. Yeah, that's it. You don't have them like the other nuts you need. Another one that contains a good amount of selenium is mushrooms. Yeah, again, more seafood like oysters, tuna, they contain good amount of selenium. If you can't have fish, then a good go-to for selenium is liver. So beef liver, calf liver, lamb's liver, you know, that kind of liver. Yeah, so that's another source of selenium. Zinc, that's another mineral that you must have for your thyroid to work properly. Where do you get zinc? Easiest place to get zinc is meat. Yeah, ideally red meat. Yeah, so you got your beef, your lamb, yeah, even pork, but even you can get that in chicken as well. Shellfish has got that as well. So if you like clams and stuff like that, mussels, you can have that in that one. And also legumes, your chickpeas, that kind of, you know, lentils and stuff like that. So that's for zinc. Another thing that you need to have for effective thyroid function is vitamin D. Now, vitamin D, the easiest way to get vitamin D is to be out in the sun. Yeah, unfortunately, in the UK, we are not that lucky, although we had a couple of good days recently. But generally speaking, we're not that lucky to have the sun all year round. So what you need to do, you need to eat fatty fish. So you're looking at salmon, mackerel, anchovies, what's the other one? Sardines, yeah. Egg yolk, very good source of vitamin D. And of course, the sun, yeah. So as you go through that, so foods you need to eat, so you need to have iodine, you need to have selenium, you need to have zinc, and you need to have vitamin D. Selenium and zinc important because they support the conversion of T4 to T3 in the liver. What does it mean? So the thyroid gland secretes 2 hormones. One is called T4, which is the inactive form, and the other one is T3, which is the active form. The inactive form cannot be used by the body, by the cells straight away. It needs to be converted to T3 mainly in the liver. And if your diet is deficient in selenium and zinc, that conversion is impaired, which means means although your blood test from the doctor will show you're fine, because your T3 is too low, you will feel like crap, and your thyroid is struggling, and you will have major problems. Yeah, okay. So foods to avoid. Now, let me put it this way. If you're diagnosed with underactive thyroid, what you need to do ASAP without even, thinking twice is remove all gluten for gluten in your diet, really for everybody else as well, because gluten just causes leaky gut, causes lots of problem, and then will autoimmune, inflammation. So really, you should just avoid gluten in the first place. So, what I recommend, if you just been diagnosed as hypothyroid, so there is no autoimmune in the background, bear in mind that doctor will not tell you got autoimmune. You most likely gonna have to go and do your own blood test, because they don't bother testing you. So if it's just underactive thyroid, remove the gluten, remove processed foods. It's got all the bad sugars, and it's got all the bad oils. We're talking about refined vegetable oil, so you got your canola oil, soybean oil, rapeseed oil, safflower oil, all the crap. Yeah, remove all of those, and you give your thyroid a nice boost. But I will take it further. To really see what works for you or what doesn't work for you, I will take it further. I will go on to the autoimmune protocol, yeah, whereby you're going to remove gluten, you're going to remove soy, all soy products that include Chinese food, guys. It's got soy sauce in it. Nightshade vegetables. Now, nightshade vegetables are basically your white potatoes, aubergines, tomatoes, peppers, all type of spicy peppers. Yeah. And you got paprika, all the spices, spices derived from peppers, yeah, like chili peppers and that kind of stuff. All those have to be removed from your diet, yeah, and they're highly inflammatory for people with thyroid problem, and specifically autoimmune as well. Dairy products have to come off, guys. I'm sorry. If you got underactive thyroid, my advice to you is remove dairy product for a month, yeah, and then reintroduce them and see where you stand. So, underactive thyroid, hypothyroidism, what I advise you to do is for 1 month, remove gluten, soy, nightshade vegetables, dairy products, eggs, and nuts. For 1 month only. Now, after a month, you can try to reintroduce dairy product and see what reaction you get. Now, if you get anything from bloating to diarrhea to rashes, then you need to leave them out. That means you don't work well with dairy product, which is quite common anyway with underactive thyroid problems. Eggs, then once you got through the dairy product, whether or not you react to them, then you can try with eggs. Same thing, whether or not you react to them. Away from. If you got no reaction, you're fine. You may have a reaction once, and then you can have it, eat the eggs, for example, not the twice, 2 times, and there's no reaction. So if you got a reaction every now and again, that means you can have them, but in moderation, yeah? And then do the same with the nuts. So if you got autoimmune, however, these foods are a no-go for good, yeah? So we're talking gluten, out of your life for good. Soya, or soy product, out of your life for good. Nightshade vegetables, or out of your life for good. Dairy, out of your life for good. Eggs and nuts, I would recommend out of your life for good if you got more than one autoimmune disorder. So not just Hashimoto, another one. If you only got one, you can try them. So remove them and then reintroduce them after a month, one at a time, and see how you respond. If you got autoimmune disorder, so you don't just have Hashimoto, you may have, like me, celiac disease or rheumatoid arthritis or lupus or psoriasis or alopecia. There's loads of them out there, fibromyalgia. So if you got more than one autoimmune disorder, you need to go on the autoimmune protocol. Very, very, very strict. And this is not just for a month, this is for good. So as well as removing all the foods that are not good for Hashimoto and underactive thyroid, so gluten, soy, nightshade vegetable, dairy products, eggs and nuts, you also must remove all grains. So I'm talking about quinoa, I'm talking about rice as well, yeah, everything, and all pulses, so no beans, no lentils, no chickpeas, none of that stuff. Yeah, why? Because those in them that react and inflame and cause autoimmune attacks. Yeah, so that's why you have to stay away from them. Grains like quinoa and rice have got compounds that if you got autoimmune, multiple autoimmune, the immune system will treat them like gluten. Yeah, so if you haven't got autoimmune, like you're only underactive thyroid, or you only got Hashimoto, you can try having, whole grain rice, see how you go. But if you start getting any symptoms, then you need to come off it as well. Yeah, okay. So it's all subjective. Some people have got a high response, autoimmune response. Some people have less. Like I can't touch. If I have eggs, I either come up with a big rush. I love eggs, yeah, but I can't have it. If I haven't, I either come up with a big rush. Yeah, or I get bloating or constipation, sometimes diarrhea. Yeah, nuts are exactly the same. So dairy products, give me the run most of the time. Yeah, gluten I can't touch. I'm celiac, so if I have gluten, then I'll know because I'm going to be in hospital requiring morphine. Yeah, so it's really, really bad if I have gluten, so I need to stay away. Yeah, so this is the difference between the two. So hypothyroidism is just a condition of the thyroid is going sluggish. If that's all you have, yeah, so you need to boost your diet with iodine, selenium, zinc, and vitamin D to make sure your thyroid is fully supported, and remove gluten immediately from your diet for good. If you got an underlying Hashimoto, which is an autoimmune version of an underactive thyroid, the underactive thyroid is being caused by Hashimoto, immune system attacking your thyroid glands, then you need to go for at least 1 month, remove gluten, soy, nightshade vegetables, dairy products, eggs and nuts, and after a month you can try to reintroduce eggs. So some people react to them, some people don't, so you can see whether you need to eliminate them for good or not. But if you got Hashimoto and other autoimmune disorders, so multiple autoimmune disorder, you must go on the full autoimmune protocol. That's the only way to keep them under control and to stop the attack on your glands and to help you lose weight and do everything you want to do. So in addition to removing the gluten, the soy, the nightshade vegetables, dairy products, eggs and nuts, you must also remove all grains, so no grains at all in your life, and all pulses as well. Yeah, okay, I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you need any help, if you've got underactive Hashimoto, underactive thyroid, or Hashimoto, or any other autoimmune disorders, and you need help, please reach out. I do offer online programs. Oh, sorry. Facebook keeps checking me out here. So yeah, I got a program that address both the nutrition side and the exercise side, with personally tailored programs for you, all online, so you can do them in your own comfort, your own home, or in the gym if you want to, and they are for hypothyroidism, obviously autoimmune as well, and also cover diabetics as well, type 1, type 2 diabetics. So if you need any help, please reach out. I'll put information on the comments for the programs if you're interested, if you need some help there. If you know anyone who suffers from underactive thyroid or Hashimoto or any other autoimmune disorders, please forward this to them. Share it with them, because the autoimmune protocol is essential if you have an autoimmune disorder, and obviously it needs to be tailored to you. So if you need help tailoring that, obviously I can help with that. Next week I'll be covering more for underactive thyroid. I will be covering exercise, how to exercise if you got underactive thyroid or other autoimmune disorders. Yeah, and also covering characteristics of other autoimmune disorders that you might have, or haven't covered with this one, to give you a little bit of help with those ones as well. Remember that if you don't know if you've got an autoimmune disorder in the background, you need to do blood test. Yeah, so the doctor, if you're on thyroid medication and the doctor just put you on that, telling you the thyroid is underactive, chances are you got Hashimoto in the background, which is underactive autoimmune disorder. So you need to know if that's there, because your diet needs to be a lot more strict for, as I mentioned to you, with autoimmune as versus to just thyroid, underactive thyroid. And the only way to find out is to run specific tests that look for the two main antibodies, yeah, for the thyroid gland, TPO and TG. And if you don't know where to go for that, let me know. I can direct you to the online company I've been using for years for myself. They got a local clinic you can go to have a blood test taken. Some, depending on what blood test they do, some of them you can do them at home yourself. I always suggest you go to a clinic, and you can do that, and you can get 10% off as well. I've got an account with them for my clients, so I'm allowed to get 10% off. Yeah, so I hope you find this useful, and you know, look after your thyroid, guys, because once you lose it, it's gone for good. It doesn't regenerate, unfortunately. So like myself, I've only got 20% of one thyroid gland left. It does make a huge difference, you know, to your life, even with medication. Energy, so your energy level are not going to be as good as you know, as somebody with 2 functioning thyroid glands. So at the first signs that something is wrong, please go and ask the doctor to do a blood test, and if it tells you your thyroid is underactive, ask to have your autoimmune thyroid, your thyroid antibodies tested. And if they refuse, go and do them yourself. It's not expensive these days. You can do a full thyroid panel for just 60 quid. Yeah, it's not that expensive. Okay, so great. Hope you have a great weekend, guys. It's Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Make sure you load up on the good food for your thyroid, yeah, with all the good nutrients required to support it. And I'll see you all next week. Bye.